Morning, Coach. We'll
Hey,
get
good morning,
started
guys.
with Ruben, and then John Clark.
Hey, Doug, how you doing? I guess the main guys that we're going to ask you about are the two receivers, DeSean, Alshon, and then Lane. Do you expect to have those guys tomorrow night?
You know, I think DeSean is closer. He had a really good week of practice, so anticipate him. Anticipate Lane as well. Both had a really good week. Alshon still with just a short week. It's just hard to get him the reps he needs. So leaning towards out with Alshon.
Go ahead, John, and then Dave Zingaro.
Doug, when you see where you are in the division and that it's right there for the taking, and you've got these NFC East games coming up, where is the heightened sense of urgency right now at this point in the season?
Well, listen, every week's heightened. The sense of urgency each week to win a football game, right? And we understand where we are, what the sort of the hole we've dug ourselves into, and listen, it's all about just one game at a time mentality. You don't want to look past the Giants. This is a good football team coming in here Thursday night, and we have to be prepared. It's a short week. We came off an emotional game, this past Sunday with Baltimore, and we got to turn around and play. So the sense of urgency each week is always there. And again, it's a one game mentality, one opponent at a time.
Dave and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Doug, who did you guys land on for right guard this week? And a follow-up on Lane, is he healthy enough that you're confident he can make it through the entire game?
As far as Lane goes, I do feel comfortable. Obviously, with him missing last week and this being a short week, getting him the rest, I do feel comfortable and confident. Obviously, anything is possible, so, don't quote me on that, right? But as far as right guard, left guard, center, and all that, I'm going to keep that close to the vest and not reveal any information there.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Pat Allen.
Doug, you're obviously in this division race, but your record doesn't suggest that you've played well the first 5 games. How will you balance playing for the division title versus the development of the future by getting some of these younger players to play over veterans that won't factor into the team beyond this year?
Obviously there was a lot in that question, but first of all, I appreciate the confidence that you have in us. And secondly, listen, we know our division is down, and maybe it is up for grabs. All I know is we're gonna focus on 1 week at a time, and I think that's all I can ask of our players. This is a short week. The New York Giants coming to town is a good football team. I know their record doesn't show it either, but these guys are good on defense. They're good on offense, and got really good special teams. So we have to be prepared to win this game. Come Thursday and play hard.
So if I might follow up, then, if you're going to factor in this week, then is DeSean? I mean, will he play ahead of Fulgham?
What do you suggest, that he's going to play ahead of? No,
Fulgham's obviously a guy that's produced here of these last 3 games, a younger guy. Will someone like DeSean, who is older, has been hurt a lot, will he play as much or more than Fulgham?
DeSean will have just as many plays, if not obviously with the game plan. So again, it's a lot like the offensive line position, not necessarily going to reveal who's playing and how much at this time.
We'll go Pat and then Tim McManus.
Doug, this is an attire question. You guys are wearing the black jersey, black pants combo, which you've actually had a lot of success with. Do you think about that sort of thing? Does it even matter to you at all?
We have a saying around here that everything matters, and it goes from maybe the uniform choice color to how we practice, the meetings, everything. That I think about a lot of things, obviously, and making sure that we're prepared. But listen, it doesn't matter the color jersey we're in or what color jersey they're in. We still have to line up and play and play a good football team. Listen, the other thing is we've got to eliminate some of the mistakes that we've limited ourselves both offensively, defensively, and some on special teams the first 6 games of the season. So I think about that a lot, but the players themselves, I think it's about their preparation and hard work during the week.
Tim and then Les.
Could you update us on Dallas Goedert and Jalen Reagor? Is one ahead of the other there? Is the plan to keep them out after the bye week? Whatever you can tell us there.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a timetable on either one of them, but I'll tell you that both of them are doing well and they're on schedule.
Les and then Zach.
Hey, Doug, do you think you'll have Avonte Maddox this week? And is there anybody else that we've sort of missed here that is going to return in your sort of complicated injury situation?
Yeah, I think Avonte is another one he's missed a couple games here, and he again, short week, but he's felt good. I anticipate him being available for this football game. Duke Riley was another one that missed this past week, and anticipate his injury to be okay to where he could play. So yeah, we're getting a few guys back in the lineup this week that can help us, but again, a short week. We're just going to take everybody.
Zach and then Bo.
Hey, Doug, following up from Monday's press conference, what did you learn about Ertz, Miles Sanders, and Malik Jackson as far as if these are multiple week injuries, day-to-day injuries, that type of thing?
I'm not going to get into a lengthy discussion here. All three of those guys will definitely miss this week, and we'll see where they're at. We got some time now before we play our next opponent. We get time to kind of rest and heal some of these guys. We'll evaluate that again next Wednesday when we get back on the practice field.
So are they IR candidates, or are they guys you'll keep on the roster for now?
Not at this time. Howie and I will make that determination as we go. Again, we got some time before we can, we have the options, obviously, available to us, and something we'll take a look at.
Bo and then Kristen.
Hey, Doug, the Giants defense, how similar is it to, I guess, the Dolphins defense you faced from last year with the same coordinator, and, what are their strengths? What do they do well?
Yeah, it's similar to what Miami has done. It's similar to how New England has played in the past against us. You see a little bit of what Matt Patricia has brought to Detroit. It's all kind of out of that same family of defenses there. These guys, listen, this defensive line is, again, a challenge for our offensive line. They're big and physical inside, and they can put pressure on a quarterback, and they can shut the run game down. And it's probably a little more zone coverage in the back end than man coverage. But there are a lot of disguises back there with their linebackers and safeties, and so it's got its own set of complexities, I should say, within this defense, especially on a short week. But having some familiarity with them, and Coach Graham last year in Miami does help to be able to take a look at some of that, and really, really good defense that we're going against this week.
Kristen and then Mike K.
Hey, Doug, I don't think we ever followed up with you after Sunday's game with the experience of having the fans back in the stands for you guys. Was curious what it's like to kind of have that support, also the accountability with some of the boos as well, but what you think that atmosphere can now be like on Thursday.
I tell you, it was great to see the fans, in the stands, supporting the guys, supporting the team. Felt right at home, obviously, with some of the boos. We need to play better, obviously. And look, it's we're uncertain times. It's we're in this pandemic environment right now, and slowly but surely we're getting people back in the bleachers, and it's great to see them at Lincoln Financial, and to be able to to come out and hear, instead of hearing simulated crowd noise, we're actually hearing crowd noise for the first time, and that was exciting last Sunday to have our fans in the link.
Mike's having some audio issues, so we'll go to John McMullen, and then we'll wrap it up with Nick Fierro.
Hey, was that me?
Yep, you're up.
Sorry. Having audio issues as well. Sorry about that, Doug. Earlier in the week, we mentioned your success on Thursday night. So have you learned anything from this process now that you're in your fifth season? What have you learned about these short weeks, and what has helped you sort of, going through it?
I think I'm constantly learning each week, but I know on the short week, it's really about the players, right? And it's about their health and their recovery from a physical game. on Sunday, and you're turning around and playing here on a Thursday, and just how you talk to the team from a recovery standpoint, and put more of it, put the onus kind of on them to make sure that they take care of their bodies, because the practices, they're not physical type practices, and it's all mental, and so prepare the coaches. Obviously, you go into games like this, and you scale back a little bit, in your game planning. Go back to some of the more training camp, early in the season plays that we've done. We still have young guys playing, so we can't get too complex or too carried away with formations or plays. And I think you just focus on that, and you just focus within, and just get your guys as prepared as possible. And but the bottom line is really how healthy, number one, your team is, but how they recover from a short week.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, Doug. You mentioned this Giants special teams earlier, and obviously Joe Judge comes from that special teams background. But they're not a lot of coaches that really do. They're able to make that jump. Do you think a stigma kind of exists with special teams coordinators, and if so, why?
Well, it's hard to answer the why to that, but I mean, you look around the league, there are some really good special teams, coordinators that I think could make good head coaches, and obviously Joe Judge is one of them. We saw Harbaugh, in Baltimore last week. I think of Dave Tobe, who I worked with in Kansas City. His name has been mentioned around the league, and as far as a head coaching candidate, and look, I just believe that the organization that's going to be hiring the next head coach, they look at everything. They look at all the coaches, and even think of Coach Reed, who really had never been a coordinator, right? He was more of a position coach and became a head coach, and so they're going to obviously pick the best candidate for their team. Special teams coaches, I do know this, special teams coaches are probably in front of the entire team as much as I am, right? Because they're dealing with all the players with special teams meetings and things of that nature. So, they have a way about them, and it probably gives them a little bit of comfort, I guess, when talking to the team.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.